lap record. Well, fair play. Jake is here helping his brother Keith, and I think we knew as soon as practice had finished that we were going to say goodbye to the lap record, and the top 4 were all into the 49s yesterday. So
green flag at the back there, Keith, and
let's go for it, mate.
Yeah, well, it's Dale Doughty's made a good start there. Number 22, there's Dave Lindemann in second place there momentarily. Dave Twyford has a look to the inside, but no room, so he's ahead of Mitch DeCran. So number 1 ahead of the 66 in third and fourth. Then it's one of the Harris brothers. I suspect it could well be Ronnie Harris up there in 5th place, Keith, but it's just a blur of bikes and colours at this stage as we go towards you.
Okay, downhill they come into Cascades. Let's watch them safely through Cascades. We've seen a couple of people come unstuck here today. Big long line of bikes already as they charge on through. Right now, Del Downs came to see me in the commentary box yesterday. We had a quiet chat off the microphone. Del wasn't the happiest panda, to be fair. Now, what I have to say is I don't think Lindemann's taking points, which is a Brucey bonus, really. But that still means that technically yesterday it was another win for Twyford ahead of Downs, which is the results we saw at Brands Hatch. Now, Del said the problem was yesterday he took off like a scalded cat, disappeared for a bit, the others chased after him. But the trouble is, he was then setting that pace for the entire race, and then they pounced on him at the last moment, didn't give him a chance to fight back. And he said he wants Twyford to lead the race. He'll follow on, but of course the spanner in the works there is Lindemann as Downs comes past me ahead of Twyford. And Mitch DeCran's made a good start, mate. He's up to 4th place, and behind him I think that might be Steve Costin as well. So after a bad result yesterday, Steve's obviously managed to have a bit of a think about it over the night, pick himself up, reach down. Looks like he's managed to find a pair as well, because this is a very tricky track to learn, isn't it, Matt?
Oh yeah, it's got to be the most technical I think we've got in the UK. It really is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. People say Brands Grand Prix is a tough track, and it is a tough track, but I am totally with you. This is by far the more technical track. The cambers, the variety of turns. It's the 117 machine.
Dave Twyford's in the lead. Yeah, he's going to lead. So we've got a leading group of 6 bikes there, Keith. And I spoke to Steve Costin earlier on today when he was just getting his practice pass, and he said that he's aiming for the 51s there. And then Del turned up and said, right, we're going to wait for the 48s in the leading. Okay, so Dave Twyford come and saw me this morning, and I said, can you come and watch my video and give me any tips? And I have done.
Who's that? Sorry, Dave Twyford?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he came across and said, Matt, come and this video. And I did, and I said, I think you can certainly make up time in this sector.
Yeah, it's all good. They're just, you go back to that, it proves what a bit of coaching can do, and I know you've yourself has worked with a coach as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've worked with several coaches.
Did you not work with Spike Edwards? Yeah, he is the coach's coach, isn't he?
Yep, that was for that's what got me the MRO championship with him, and then with Gary Oulton, that was last year. That's what got me the championship, and if I'm honest, that's what got me the lap records.
Yeah. So just finding those little fractions of a second. Yeah. And I'm really pleased to see somebody who is clearly as talented and as good as what he does as Dave Twyford is able to come to you and say, can you find me a bit more time, mate? Because you can always find a bit more, and Lindemann just found a little bit more as well, because he's just outbraked Twyford into the Hizzy chicane there, and he's taken the lead. So now we've got a new pace setter. It's the black bike out in front, and that's a borrowed bike as well. That's not his regular bike from last year. That's just one he's borrowed. I can't remember. Is it
ATP?
ATP Racing, yeah. Andy Smith bike there. So it's basically a borrowed bike that Dave Lindemann is on, and now he's being chased by the top 2 of the championship from last year. What is also good from when they came past me here, nobody was running away with this. We had a good close bunch at the front, didn't we?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. We've got a bit of a gap between 3rd and 4th place now opening up there. It's a few tenths of a second, but it is Lindemann with a 49.6 already on the first of the flying laps, Keith. That is under the old lap record on the first of the flying laps. Twyford and Dowd 2nd and 3rd place, and it's DeCran, Ronnie Harris, Toby Finnis, Bill Harris. First of the rookie mini-twins there is Will Howarth with a 51.9 ahead of Steve Costin, Kev Lilly and Ollie Sims inside the top 10 in the MRO Minitwins. But fastest first sector, fastest second sector goes to David Lindemann on that lap, but he's got some work to do there, isn't he? Because Twyford is going to want to win, and Dowd is going to not want to be beaten by Twyford.
You see, this is the whole thing. Lindemann's not taking points. So what Twyford can do is he can afford to sit there behind Lindemann, let Lindemann set the pace. If he finishes behind him on the track, all good, he's still going to get the 25 points. So as far as I'm aware at least, and I'm sure he probably looks into that, him and his IMP racing team may well have looked into that a bit closer, but I think it could be Brucey bonus time as far as he goes. But the one who's really got his work cut out is Dell, because he needs to get past on Dave Twyford. Here they come then, over the hill, down towards me once again. Looks like side-by-side stuff. That's Twyford who's had the lead. Again, Lindemann so strong on the brakes into there. Now, it was actually told that we thought Twyford could pick up a little bit of time into these chicanes, and looking at Lindemann's pace through there, he certainly can. And I'll tell you what, the other man with a bit between his teeth, mate, that's going to be Mitch Ducran. We saw Mitch yesterday, obviously, had a quick word with him. And Mitch says what he's never done, what he really, really likes to do, is to beat Twyford or Dowds in a straight fight. He's never actually managed it, and I'll tell you what, he's as close as he's ever been at the moment as they come past me.
Yeah, exactly. He's just got purple in the first sector there for Mitch Ducran.
Oh, really?
3.5 tenths quicker than Dell in that first sector.
Wow.
So we're looking towards Lodge there, and I suspect that we'll be getting them very shortly indeed. I'm just having a look. 660. Ronnie Harris doesn't seem to have gone through into the second sector, but we do have a leading group of 4 now as Dave Twyford pulls out to the left-hand side of the circuit there. Lindemann leads the way across the line, but it is Mitch Ducran with the fastest lap of a 49.5.
Go Mitch, he'll be well pleased with that one. He'll be delighted when he sees that. Doesn't quite get him the lap record because you've got to be a 49.4, but I'll tell you what, 49.47. So I'll tell you what, he is on the money here, and he is going with this leading group. Who's that in fifth, mate?
Fifth place there, Toby Finnis.
Toby, yeah.
Everybody making up a position there. Ronnie Harris not coming across the line at the end of lap number 3.
Don't know where we've lost him. I can't see where he is. I'm not hearing anything on the radio, but I don't hear much on the radio anyway. But right, off they disappear. What's the rookie order then? I'm guessing it's Will who's leading the way, is he?
Will Howarth is leading the way. He is in 7th place overall at the moment.
Impressive.
There. He is just ahead of Steve Costin and Kev Lilly there. Second at the moment is 77, and that is Chris. Third place is 217 of Sigget. They are spread out on the circuit, but yeah, Howarth is inside the top 7 overall, Keith.
Down towards me once again. Now this time it looks like Lindemann has got a clear gap. And by clear, I'm talking about half a dozen or so bike lengths as Twyford flicks his way through. Dowds is going with him, and Ducran is just another bike length or so back, so he's lost a little bit of ground there, not too much at all. Toby Finnis starting to have a bit of a lonely race. Then it's the 141 machine of Bill Harris. So that's the younger of the Harris brothers, and he's right there with Will Howarth as well. And of course, Bill and indeed his brother Ronnie, they both were former British Talent Cup runners, and the cost of doing the British Talent Cup is kind of into 6 figures now if you want to do it seriously, and the family have gone, we don't have a spare 6 figures lying around, but let's go and enjoy ourselves doing a bit of mini twin racing. And we were having a bit of a chat yesterday with Ronnie, and he's absolutely loving it, isn't he?
Yeah, sorry to change the subject there. Twyford, he got the hurry up in that second sector there because Lindemann opened up a gap of half a second in that first sector, and then Twyford went, do you know what, I'll have that half a second back. And it's Lindemann and Twyford both in a 1 minute 49.3 second bracket there. So Dell there is 0.4 of a second behind, Ducran's 0.6 of a second, but just think if you are under the old lap record there, you are just outside the top 4.
Well, Will Howarth, I don't know if you know this, he used to race with Bradley Ray and Storm Stacey.
No, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, so,
he's kept that bit quiet.
Yeah. You got to be in the paddock sometimes, you see, to find this stuff out.
No, absolutely. No, Will's a lovely guy.
He's a really nice guy.
I've had a couple of chats with him and his lovely partner Dominique there, and I didn't realise. So he's got a bit of pedigree. What did you race him in, mate?
Do you know what? I can't remember. That's the age.
No, don't worry about it. I'll hopefully remember next time I see Will, because I'm not going to see him for the rest of this weekend, but I'll certainly see him at Saturn. And clearly he's a rookie. And what you have to remember actually is last year, strictly speaking, Lindemann was a rookie, though he went straight into the main class basically because of his previous experience overseas. He was promoted because he would have made the rookie mini twins look a little bit ridiculous last year, I think.
And his dad was very much involved with that, saying no, you can't put him in that because it was a separate class, didn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes.
So that would be very unfair and dangerous with as we can see with his pedigree.
Yeah, no, he's clearly those slouches. They come past me once again. Doesn't look like there's any change at the sharp end. Everybody will be working on the plan. As I was saying, Matt, the thing with club racing, and I'm sure you'll back me up on this, Matt, is particularly a quick 10-lapper of Brands Hatch around the Indy. You don't have time to have a plan or to think about it for very long, do you? Whereas 10 laps around here, Again, that was another dangerous entry from the escape rope by a rookie. I think
Twyford's got a run on Lindemann as he go down the avenue, Keith.
And this is what we were working on, this exact section. It was out,
really?
yeah, it's out there
Okay.
with Denton's.
Yep, Lindemann was a little bit compromised there. I think he went a bit defensive into Cascades, and Twyford took the more conventional line, and that has given him definitely the bit of a drive out of the corner. He's right in the slipstream, but I tell you what, Dowds has gone with him as well. So Twyford and Dowds definitely picking up a little bit of momentum on Lindemann there. So when he thought David was going to escape, yeah, it's not going to be the case. Yeah, 10 laps around here, Matt, you've got a bit more time to think about it, to make a plan, haven't you?
A lot more. You can actually just sit behind someone for it. You can
Yeah.
to go, do you know what, I'm going to sit behind you and see where you're strong and where you're not.
Exactly.
And of course, they're all running videos, so not only can they watch for 10 laps, they can go back to their caravans or wherever they are and then study what everybody else is doing and where someone's quick and what lines they're doing, and that's what we did this morning.
Brilliant. Well, I'll tell you where he's quick now, because all of a sudden that advantage that down into Hessies that Lindemann seemed to have is gone, because Twyford holds him off onto the braking there and now leads the way, and he's put Lindemann between himself and his main rival in the championship. That's Dowds. Mixture Cran just dropping off a little bit there, just by a fraction here and a fraction there. All of a sudden that becomes 10 bike lengths. He's away from the leading bunch. Those other battles continue all the way down the field, but yeah, you're right, just that little bit here, a little bit there makes a difference, and Twyford has found that little bit of a difference. So off he goes, and now he's going to be trying to set the pace. How many laps are we going to be into the race this time, guys?
So we're going to complete lap number 6 in just a moment's time there. Just want to say, we had a yellow flag down there at Lodge, so I believe we may have lost Max Priestley on that one, but we'll get confirmation in just a second as Lindemann goes to the inside there. So now the apex from Lindemann, and they say this is the part where Twyford's been working on there. He gets the cutback and side by side with Lindemann.
Okay, we'll watch him come down the hill in just a moment, no doubt. Twyford is ahead with Lindemann's got the inside. They're going to be leaning on each other, and I tell you what, Twyford's strong around the outside of Cascades, and not only does he go around the outside, he carries the corner speed so well. I tell you what, that was impressive stuff there, Matt, because normally when you go around the outside of something like that, you expect to get hammered on the cutback, don't you? I wonder if Dowds with a slightly less compromised line might be able to get on the tail and maybe look for a pass at Ireland, but I don't think he had any extra speed coming out of that corner than the other two in front of him. And I think what it is between these three as well, they've been racing each other for over a season now. There's total trust between the three of them. They know nobody's going to do anything stupid. I know Lindemann was a little bit younger and more wild. They made a couple of mistakes last year, but he's calmed down a bit now. They come down the hill. So Twyford is on the outside there. Lindemann going late. No, he can't do it. Twyford's found some strength under the brakes there. So I think Dell was saying that was one of the places that Twyford was looking a little bit weak yesterday. I tell you what, he ain't looking any weakness whatsoever. He powers his way up the hill. Again, no change in the order. Battle for the minor placings coming past. We've got a good little three-way scrap going for what would be, where are we, 4th, 5th place now. And behind there I can see Kev, Lily, Ever Revan, Kevin and Steve Costin also involved in their own little battle. But the main interest, of course, is right at the very sharp end there, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Watching them now in the purple first sector there from Dale Dowd. So we've got it's giving 3.5 laps to go, and it's Twyford. Dowd's now in the second place ahead of Lindemann there. Mr. Crunch just about keeping his fingernails dug into the rear tyre of Dave Lindemann there, but that is your order. It's a 49.280 now for Dale Dowd in his pursuit of Dave Twyford. So down the avenue in towards Denton's and Cascades there is 0.3 of a second between Twyford and Dowds, and also 0.3 of a second between Dowds and Lindemann there.
I tell you what, Dell was saying he wants to be in the 48, so I think that's where he's going to have to be if he wants to beat Twyford today, because he is flying. They're coming out to a back marker at Island Bend, and I have to say they disappear out of my sight. I'm wondering if Twyford might get a slight advantage down there as well, because I think Twyford's going to catch that back marker first, and I think that's going to give him just a little bit more momentum past. He might be able to put the back marker, albeit briefly, between himself and his rival. I'm not going to be surprised if I see that gap. What was it across the line there, guys?
Between Twyford and Dowds, sorry.
Yeah.
0.379.
Right, okay. I'm going to see if I can mentally work out what sort of gap that was, because what does that translate to? Probably 4 or 5 bike lengths. Here they come over the hill then. Another back marker in the chicane. Now, who's got the advantage this time? It is Dowds, who's right on the tail of Twyford. No, definitely not lost anything. In fact, the three of them are pretty much line astern as they come through here, flicking left and right at exactly the same time. So smooth, honestly. Twyford is smoother than an Action Man's private parts, mate. He's absolutely on it. Just no kind of twitching of the bike at all. Over the top he goes. This is going to be a really grandstand finish, I think, here, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're keeping our eyes on towards Druids there. So I was just having a look at the purple sectors over the course of the race there. So Keith, the fastest absolute lap so far in this race would be in the 48.
Oh, wow.
They've not done it
yeah.
single lap. So we're just watching them now around Lodge, and it is Twyford from Dowds from Lindemann there. We're going to come across the line there, and it'll only be around about 5 and a bit miles to go, because we are onto the penultimate lap now. And there's a back marker coming into play here. Twyford goes to the inside there. Dowds and Lindemann there. So Twyford, put a bit of daylight between himself and Dowds there. Dowds goes to the inside on the exit, as does Lindemann there. It's around about, what's that, a bike length or so that Twyford managed to open up with.
You know what, I actually think that he lost out.
Yeah.
I actually think he lost out because he compromised it, because he thought, I'm going to get up the inside here, and I think Dell read what was going on and just held back, because he started to catch him down towards Denton's.
Okay, guys, 4 bike lengths was the advantage that Twyford had as he came out of Cascades, and I think that Dowds was a little bit compromised coming out of Cascades there, because certainly Lindemann got the quicker exit, and he was looking to tow his rival all the way down the longish lakeside straight there. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to end up as a scrap for the second place between Lindemann and Dowds, and that's going to allow Twyford to escape yet again and claim another hard-fought win in this race. Going to have to wait and see when they come across the top. I imagine we're going to see some frantic outbraking if there's any room to be had. Here they come. They're all trying to go defensive, and that is out in front. That's Lindemann. Where's he found that speed? He was third coming out of Cascades. He's leading by about 4 bike lengths ahead of Twyford and Dowds. That's incredible. Have a look at his sector time. He's going up the hill now. He must have found a purple there somewhere.
Keeping an eye on it is a low 119. It's 119.1 that is the purple at the moment, and at the moment Lindemann did a 119.5. I don't think it was Lindemann going quicker. I think it was Twyford and Dowds just slowing up a little bit.
They must have got tangled or something. I don't know how he's done that. It's incredible stuff.
Just a quick one, Keith. We're having good battles all the way down the order there. Steve Costin is unfortunately back in the pits there, but Will Howard is less than a tenth of a second away from Toby Finnis, and that is for top 5 overall in the MRO Minitwins.
And we'll worry about it in just a second, mate. How you watch him come across the line.
There's nothing to separate there. They're pretty much 3 abreast as they come out of this, leaping across the front straight once more. So the 0.1 of a second separating 3 riders as Lindemann takes the advantage, making up 2 positions on that lap. But Dave Twyford again with the cutback. They're side by side, and I think Twyford has enough of an advantage there to make the move in towards Denton's and Cascades there. But Dowds is watching this all unfold in front of him, and you know he wants to beat Twyford.
Oh yeah, you trust me. Trust me, I don't think I've ever seen anybody want to beat somebody so much. It's not a hatred, it's not a dislike thing, they're good friends.
They are. And do you know what, I'm going to just pick up on what you said earlier about them trusting each other. Dave Twyford is the utter gentleman racer.
Oh yes. No, totally. No, you couldn't meet a nicer guy off the track. I mean, he's by profession, he's a blue light man. He's a paramedic, and you can actually see him kind of in the back of the ambulance working it. And he's actually assisted in a couple of things in the pit lane before now. But you're right, and I think Dowds respects him totally for that as well. Don't know, Dell doesn't like any great argy-bargy there. So I've got to ask the question.
You're watching him coming over that hill there.
Sorry, I forgot. Sorry. Watching where we got here. It is Lindemann there who's going across, and he's got a huge gap now. Twyford and Dowds still nose to tail, but I don't know where has he just gone purple in Lindemann?
Yeah, 118.3. That is so
18.3.
18.3.
And the previous was 19.1.
Yeah.
So he's this is a 48-second lap we're looking for, isn't it?
We are on for a 48 here. We're keeping an eye on it.
There was a few back markers there as well, and I don't know if Dowds has got enough in hand to overtake Twyford there.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
18.3 in the first sector there. We're watching him now as he go through Deer's Leap there underneath the bridge. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Here comes Lindemann's to the line, checkered flag time. We'll have a look on the lap time there. And as they come across the line to take the victory, we're waiting for it to upload here. And Lindemann is showing as not coming across the line. So I'm not sure what's happened to the timing screen here.
Okay, don't worry about that. Might be a transponder issue.
Absolutely.
He's on both bikes today.
Yeah,
stuck.
Yeah, but Dowds there ahead of Twyford, Dowds, Ducran, and then Bill Harris, Will Howarth will be 6th ahead of Toby Finnis, but not sure what's happened on the timing screen here. We'll wait for it to upload in just a second there. But Kevin Lilly then across the line in 8th place on the corrected result sheet then. But what, an 18.3 in the first sector.
There is.
So there,
148.999.
Oh, yeah, there's your 48. It could not be any closer. 48.999 if you don't mind, umpire. Wow.
That's amazing.
That is brilliant.
1.1 seconds advantage at the end of that race then, Keith, for Lindemann.
Oh, wow. So, Twyford in second place there, but I think there will still be 25 points in this account. We'll wait until we get the uploads during the week there.
What's crazy as well is in the second sector, Twyford is still showing as having the best second sector, so there's still time out there.
So yeah, wow. Well, you did say we're in the low 49s. So somebody had done a 91, and we had a 49.3 there, and all of a sudden Twyford's taken basically 8/10 of a second out. So yeah, I think it's a 48.5 there somewhere to be had, but we won't stress that. Right, the 117 machine CB500 now. I don't know what the story